50% on the
Yeah,
quad.
like, wait.
But it does make sense. I mean, at the same time, Domeng, maybe it's also like, you know, he wants to have it. Obviously, the last game, Game 2, he wasn't able to utilize the quad as probably he wanted to. So Game 3, now he gets a chance to do it again, and maybe better this time around. Because this lineup that we see from TNC, man, they want to fight just around everything that they can, the fairness especially for Lancey.
Yep, they have such early presence, like 1 or 2 skills is enough. And look at that, they just outnumber Aurora, and they just dominate and take the Little Wonder. Like, there's nothing Aurora could do.
Yeah, this is, and like not only that, but I think Kozin so far, picking up this Bruno again, like we saw previously.
Brunar.
He's going to have a great time, you know, going 1v1 against Domeng, at least for now. I think that'll change, especially if we get to that late game and then the Claude is online, has that Trinity, and they can work through that. But right now, it's going to be up to this. Both roamers, look at Escalera.
DK.
A couple shots, gets the flicker defensively. Kazin, Lancey, do they still want more? Retribution going to be used too. Drags him in a little bit further. Demon Kite, though, will be able to escape and stay alive.
Joseph, she's not faint. You see how Demon Guy was like, all right, cycling out way. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
JK.
You want some?
Yeah.
You want some? I'm happy to see that Aurora do not want to take this lying down, but this is the first time we've seen TNC actually get some momentum series-wide.
Yeah.
Usually they're very strong early, mid, and then they just gas out. Here, they're coming off a big win, and they could score their very first point in Season 14. Maybe Aurora is thinking, hey, they might be vulnerable to little micro mistakes.
Little micro mistakes themselves. I would say both teams obviously had their share of those throughout the series. Little oofskis. You guys probably caught some of those, but really what it comes down to is game number 3. And I would say both teams obviously learning throughout the series here already, kind of making their adjustments. I don't know if this is going to play a part too, but you guys saw it here on the international stream. We got Hatred's birthday buff maybe for TNC to get them that first point.
That's right. J-Lord watching from the sidelines, switching it up with Lancey now on the Faramis. Check out bottom lane. Kozin pushing back, Doming in. Now the fight breaks out.
Heads going to drop the Glorious Pathway, and now the fight for this turtle. Still going to break out. Edward jumping in with the Infernal Pursuit. But Kazin will pick up the objective. A big implosion going to come through. They collapse down, but Heads is taken care of. First one to go down in the exchange, and now Kazin. Enhanced swords out. He's back to safety. Only one down, but Aurora, they get a kill, trade it for the objective.
Look at this. Domeng, despite getting so close to death, looking for the creep steal. Escalera knows, does he?
Oh, you know, he's okay. He did all those shots not to get it.
Not to get it. I mean, he was gonna freeze the lane anyways.
Yeah.
Kozin gets sent back home, able to top up and then farm back up. Heads here gonna try to stop Edward from the recall.
Oh, Heads does it. Edward, though, he's tanky enough. Heads is just kind of, you know, wants to annoy him a little bit here in the top side from going back.
I think that's a successful technical knockout, man. Yeah. He sends back Edward and then denies him the plating.
Yeah, true.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
Value.
Heads. Got a good head on his shoulders.
He's thinking with his head, man.
Yeah. It's a heads-up play if you ever and on a micro scale, right? And that's what allows TNC to grab the gold lead back. And then it's going to swing now. Demon Kite picking up the Blade of Heptases here, so he's going to get real bursty. I reckon Kozin has to protect himself. Oh!
And again, an implosion going to be used, and it's Renejay the first to go down. There's the cutoff for the Glorious Pathway. They're going to run down. Aurora, Heads picks up a kill himself. At TNC, a decisive play. Ends up coming out on top, still looking for more, though possibly the pressure down on this bottom side.
Wow.
Yeah, Domeng's like, nope, I just saw that, I'm out of here.
Did you see that? Again, 2 genius plays back to back. Number 1, such an early ube from TNC. Who would have thought that there would be 5 members of TNC in that bush and in that river at 4 minutes? That's what caught him off guard. And then eventually, again, kudos to Domeng. He could have hidden in the tier 1 and 2 sandwich bush, but he hid in the far bush down bottom.
Yeah.
It was first checked in the back, but eventually Aurora knew the call. Domeng, hide here. TNC couldn't find him.
I think that's what they have to wait for, too, is Domeng, obviously, to hit that power spike himself. But Aurora will get the second turn of the game, so they at least even out the objectives in terms of that, but still looking, of course, for that first turret to get taken down as well. Both teams here, though, you know, relatively even. I think it's all going to come down to this point where it's like, which roamer is going to find that setup first. A lot of the times, Escalar's been doing a fantastic job. Heads has been just the cutoff, but this is where we have to see Renejay with the Edith.
It's so much easier for TNC. They have so many layers of CC and even health that the margin of error is so big that they're allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to force Aurora to make errors themselves and not get punished. Looking at the item game here again, there's about 1,000 between Demon Kite and Kaizen. Kaizen on his way to a Feather of Heaven. And then looking at Kozin and Doming. How big was that gold lead? I was looking at the
gold lane.
Clause, yeah.
For the gold lane, it's not too much of a lead. Like this time around, Doming's done a better job at keeping the gold closer.
Farming it up, just getting there.
Part of that too is just because, you know, if he has to, like if he's in danger, he can just blazing do it the wave. Obviously, right? Renejay gonna make the decisive play on Kozin. Kozin won't be able to escape Demon Kite this time around. And that's just how fast it can happen. At a split second, Aurora or TNC can decide to initiate. Conceal going to be used here, but they just want to save the turret from going down.
That's why a super fan from 2021 called him the Hitman.
The Hitman.
It's been 3 years since that name stuck. I don't know. I just heard about it. All right, we got a final turtle spawning upper quarter, about 10 seconds. Aurora holding their ground in a bush for TNC. Kaizen reveals himself, and already the lane swap by Heads.
Yeah, going with a swap. Doming's still, you know, the bottom part of the map here. He's probably going to rotate too. You see this turtle's up, third one. Aurora's going to start it up, take the positioning. They might just grab this too.
They can burst it.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen here. TNC decides to not go for it, pay attention elsewhere. So little by little, Aurora has found themselves in a better position to go toe-to-toe against TNC.
That's right. Aurora used their rotational speed. Because again, look at Doming, look at Demon Kite. They are much, much faster on the pickup. They can just go from lane to lane, and TNC have to check in. TNC have to know that, all right, they're not here. We're a half a step behind. And then look, they're able to push. Bottom lane, though, still standing, tier 1. Great man-to-man defense by Heads. But again, Doming a half step ahead, able to take advantage of top.
And this is the hard part here for TNC is also trying to keep tabs on Doming, because if you just let him do this on Claude, you know that at some point he's going to be locked in. He's going to be just chunking down your tankier members as well. And it's tough to catch him. So TNC, they're kind of forced to just kind of stay together, have their own form of this Ube strategy in a way where they got to play around Lancy. They got to play around Escalar. Where's he going to get those implosions? But hopefully Kozin can shine on the Bruno, because still great damage there, especially in the mid game.
And that's what makes TNC's game plan so simple. Beautiful. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Again, Heads trying to get out of here, but he can't take any pathway through that. Aurora finding a good pickup here.
Heads is rolling. I wonder what the play there was. The rest of TNC were very far off. He pressed the revitalize. So something tells me he was calling for an actual fight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Unless they were buying time elsewhere, but Aurora have those lanes locked down.
Yeah, every lane is just, in favor of Aurora right now, so not sure on that either. And you got 20 seconds for this Lord to be up. Aurora definitely, managing the waves they need to. They might still put some pressure in the mid lane, or just kind of let that tier 1 stand. But you can see them already centering up around the objective here. So TNC, with the lineup they have, they got to go in full bore, full swinging, and Kozin, especially Kozin here, he's got to keep track of the positioning. That's the only thing that's worrying here for TNC's gold laner is positioning. If it's out of place, his flicker's down, then he doesn't have the slide. He's going to be in trouble.
Even Edward can catch him off guard. Demon Guy can burst him. He definitely needs to protect himself. Luckily, there is a Faramis, a Nether Realm to get him topped up, ready to reposition. Lord Shuffle already commenced. Approaching half health. Look at how fast Dominator is dealing damage. Roar's pathway by Heads.
Drop down, looking for UA. UA goes in with the Dominator's descent. Now fires back on Heads. Heads in trouble this time. The Demon Kite goes in, and an implosion's going to find multiple members. But it's not enough as Escalera's taken out of the picture. Doming fires back in the backside and takes out Kaizen. Now Renejay goes down and extends, but there's the blazing duet from Doming as Kozin holds down the mid lane.
Joseph, you talked about it. The positioning of Kozin might be key. The fragility of one Bruno compromised TNC's damage output, which led to a winning trade for Aurora. 3-2. Make it 4-2. Lassie just respawned.
Oh man, I gotta throw it out there. I wish I had a soundboard every time I played Claude and Blazing Do It. For that sound.
Don't you put up the isn't that the in-game sound? That was the in-game sound.
That was the in-game sound. Okay.
What are you talking about?
I guess playing with the wrong voice back.
Let's get back to the Lord Shuffle. Edward and Escalera on Lord duty, pulling them back and forth, back and forth. And again, look at the long lane control, Joseph.
So good.
Look at Domeng. He's playing with some of the architects of the Lord Dance, evolved through 2021, 2022, 2023, mastered the basics. Dexter, Edward, even Ewan knows what to do in a Lord fight.
Again, the focus on heads. They want to take him out quickly, and Implosion's going to be able to find multiple. Renejay taken out of the picture for now when Edward jumps to the backside. He's taken out. Kozin trying to fire back, still trying to stay alive, but they're pushed off the fight. Domeng goes down though, so we're back possibly to the stalemate. Demon Kite and Yue left alive.
They underestimated the AoE from TNC. Two keys. Number one, they didn't take Kaizen first. In the past team fights, it was Kaizen who was taken down like maybe first or second.
Yeah.
So that's what allowed Aurora to lean hard on those fights then. But now look at that. Like a trampoline, multiple knockups, multiple damages sources, both magic and physical.
Uh-oh.
And again, Kozin was able to kick that ball freely.
The fight for the Lord. Kaizen takes a ton of damage. Yue somehow secures the Lord, and now Escalera forces the fight, finds Demon Kite. Will be able to take him down, but Aurora gets the objective. Yue's out of there, and there's the chase from Edward. He wants more. When the Infernal Pursuit goes in with wave 2 and fights under the tier 2 turret, Renejay will go in, gets the knockup, and now Heads is rolling again on the floor as the tier 2 goes down. It's only Kozin left alive to defend.
It's just the Zens. The first Lord scored by Aurora, marching down bottom. Big fat waves ushering in from top and mid. Aurora in just in a single moment. It didn't have to be Kaizen or Kozin first. It was just their front lines taken down, and suddenly TNC couldn't clap back.
They will take care of the Lord, but they lose that base turret down bottom side. Hey, we've seen this time and time, the pendulum.
This hurts extra for TNC.
Yeah.
The long lane is the penetrated lane, and they're facing off against a Claude.
A Claude. And you know, when you were talking about wave management, trying to keep this together, a Claude is like the biggest problem you can have in that case.
The only thing that's worse is a Fanny or a Ling. Or a Chip. There's long lane control.
Yeah.
TNC have to macro out of their minds.
I'd sprinkle a Moskov in there too.
That too, yeah,
Just,
exactly.
you know,
exactly, that too.
SOD up to the fight.
Yeah.
But at this point, TNC backs against the wall. You know, you can see how far this pendulum has swung. Now, you mentioned this earlier, Leo, is as long as Kaizen isn't the first to go down, or at least, you know, their front line stays healthy enough to get those ultimates placed correctly.
Checklist.
The checklist is there. They can still win a team fight.
For sure.
Because even looking at the items, like, they're in fighting form. They are able to fight off. The only thing is Kozin, you know, he doesn't have that defensive item advantage that Domeng has. He has the wind of nature.
He doesn't have room to build it.
Exactly.
He doesn't have room to build it. He literally
there he is. He
a
just got
glass cannon. There it is. All right. So that's his only defensive item. He can defend himself from Demon Kite and Domeng, but he can't against Yue.
Okay.
I don't think he can even defend himself against Edward.
Oh.
Conceal!
They want to fight this. Conceal can be used with Glorious Pathway, and Edward jumping in again with the Infernal Pursuit.
Whoa!
They're going to get a huge knockup here. The Winter's Crown's going to be used as well, and Domeng fires off the backside of the Blazing Duet, pops the Wind of Nature, and focuses on Heads. Lancy and Kozin running to base. The full force of Aurora still alive.
That was team fighting excellence. Renejay finding the back angle, making the most of that full combo, taking down 3, and it's free. Aurora in the base.
Only 2 left, waiting for the rest of the team. Deleted off the map here, and Aurora will take this series in a 2-1 fashion.
It's lights out